What's that up in the sky? It's a bird. Oh, it's a plane. Oh, no. It's just one of the newfangled Zeppelin things. Wait, is that a pirate ship attached to it? Hello. I'd like to tell you of the very intriguing world of steampunk. Specifically, I'll be covering steampunk's meaning, its history, and how it's represented. So let's talk about the meaning. According to Milk and LaHaye in 2015 from Children's Literature and Education, steampunk is roughly defined as past technologies and fashions that govern alternative settings in order to critique and or rebel against social, political, and cultural ideologies of the past, the present, and the future. According to Miller and Van Riper in 2011 from the Journal of Popular Film and Television, steampunk is what's called allohistory, or an alternative history to reality. Wren, in 2013, from American Theater, says that steampunk also contains darker elements and an attitude of rebellion, as the punk suffix would suggest. It recalls the more menacing aspects of the 19th century, like mills, smokestacks, and street urchins, with emphasis on craftsmanship, salvage material, and DIY philosophies. Steampunk rebukes our era's throwaway, mass-produced designs. According to Milk and LaHaye, most steampunk texts are engaged with questioning our roots and the concept of progress. Wren quotes Bruce Sterling as saying, "Steampunk's key lessons are not about the past, but they are about the instability and obsolescence of our own times." According to Milk and LaHaye, set in the past or alternate future, steampunk makes strange aspects of society, history, and culture that are accepted as normal. It takes a historical past and reimagines it or places it in the future to explore times more critically. Van Vlier in 2015 from Victorian Homes goes on to say that it combines the creativeness of the Victorian era with science fiction and fantasy. Wren says that it implies visible tech and goes back to a time when anyone could invent things. Now the history. Struble, Burnshead, and Brandon in 2016 from the International Journal of Sales say that steampunk emerged during the 1980s as a science fiction literary genre. According to Wren, fiction authors such as Tim Powers, K.W. Jeter, and James Baylock jump-started this. And Milk LaHaye further states that K.W. Jeter first coined the term steampunk in a note to Locust magazine in April 1987. Van Vlier says that after that, the idea of a Victorian fantasy caught on. And then it moved from just literature when craft aficionados, fashion designers, and sculptors started incorporating it into their own works. According to Struble, Burnshead, and Brandon, it then evolved into a subculture with its own music genre and lifestyle, and that is where it is today. And finally, I would like to talk about how steampunk is represented. According to Milk and LaHaye, depictions of technology in steampunk are realistic and artistic. Miller and Van Riper go on to say that steampunk uses this technology to manifest the fantastic elements in stories. Struble, Burnshead, and Brandon say that dedicated steampunks show their interests by retrofitting their homes with modern appliances and embodying Victorian character through dress. According to Milk and LaHaye, on the cover of Leviathan by Scott Westerfield, a steampunk novel, there is an image of a character wearing a bomber hat, goggles, and leather jacket. He's surrounded by gears, propellers, and a strange flying machine. According to Wren, characters are also sometimes decorated with materials that look scavenged, such as fingerless gloves, clothes lined with snap tape, watch parts, etc. Van Vlier says that the fans themselves are often various artists creating books, music, art, costumes, and jewelry. According to Wren, theater even seems to be an extension of the steampunk genre now. So, there you have the meaning, the history, and representations of steampunk. Thank you for listening.